Uh, on paper where the story's told, facts and truth, the legend grows. Lionheart's here with fire to spit. It's on paper with Anthony Smith.
With Anthony Smith.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the On Paper podcast presented by Black Buffalo. I'm Anthony. That's Kelly. I'm not going to give her too much shit today.
Thanks.
It's because I just feel like being nice, I guess. What's going on? How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you? It's been a couple weeks, you know?
I know we've been had a little furlough, had a lot going on, and just schedules are crazy. But we're back. I'm excited. We're gonna have a good show today. Have you done anything fun?
Before we even get to my fun and your fun, Omaha, stand the fuck up, baby.
Let's fucking go.
How pumped were you?
I couldn't have been more excited about Terence Crawford. It's so great to be a Nebraska fan right now of just Nebraska sports in general.
Mm-hmm.
Our volleyball team is number one in the nation, undefeated. Our football team, not number one in the nation, but also undefeated. And I have to praise that because we have a tough game coming up this weekend. We got Michigan on Saturday.
Yeah.
We've kind of blown out our last two opponents. We did sell out Arrowhead Stadium in the season opener, which was fun. I went to that. But we had two blowouts over teams we should have blown out. But no, we got a real big test on Saturday. So, and then Terence Crawford solidifies himself as the baddest motherfucker on the planet, and I couldn't be happier right now.
I mean, it's cool because there's not, a mainstream sports team there, and you're rooting for the women's volleyball, which I know you have vested interest in because of your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
The football team, obviously a huge deal, and then Bud Crawford goes out there and does his thing, and it's just a great time to be from Nebraska, I suppose.
I'm telling you, it's great. It's great. I'm so happy for Terence. He deserves it. I don't know. And like I always say on here, I want good things to happen to good people, and you won't find a better human than Terence. I mean, did you see the video when during the presser, Terence went and gave Canelo his belts back? He
said something along the lines of, I have a lot of respect for Canelo, and I didn't want it to be somebody from my team giving him his belts back. I wanted it to be me personally. And it's like, that's just a good guy. How do you not root for him?
Well, and I mean, Canelo was absolute class afterwards. Zero excuses. Gave Terence his flowers and just said that he wants to be in there with the best guys in the world. And there was no excuses. There was no bullshit. There was no the typical shit that you see in boxing where they refuse to give any credit to their opponent, and then Terence gave it right back. It was just that whole post fight. Everything that's happened after the fight has been nothing but absolute class, and it's so much fun to see.
Well, especially going into the fight, everyone said Terence Crawford has everything to gain, nothing to lose, moving up 2 weight classes. And I'm not saying he has a built-in excuse, but he kind of did if he lost. Moving up 2 weight classes. Canelo moved up 1 weight class. It didn't work out for him. Canelo, everything to lose and nothing to win. You know what I mean? And he still went in there, took the fight, took the loss with absolute grace, as Canelo does. And it was just awesome to see. Also, shout out John Anik on the broadcast. Real bright spot for me seeing that guy.
I've said it over and over and over. I'm going to say it again. John Anik is the best sports commentator across all sports ever.
I couldn't
agree.
He
is the best. Name your sport. There is no better sports commentator than John Anik. He can do it all. Doesn't matter what sport he's in.
And everybody knows the intense preparation he does. Anytime I need to know how a name is pronounced, I go find John Anik saying it because I know he's done his research to make sure he's pronouncing it correctly. He is just the gold standard in every single way. And for me, and I may be biased, obviously, as an MMA person, but he was the real bright spot of that broadcast.
He's so good. He's so good, and I'm happy to see him on like a big not that he's never on big stages, but a different kind of a different avenue, a different look, a different feel. But look how goddamn good he is. He doesn't do shit like that, and he did it better than anyone's ever done it before. It's just the whole thing is everything about this weekend was great. I was in San Antonio.
Yes. You had a couple weeks off, and then you worked Noche?
And then I worked Noche, so that was And the team, this is what and I know people are going to say, oh, it's because you work for them, it's your bosses, you got to keep the bosses happy. Find another fucking organization or promotion that can run 2 events simultaneously at the same exact time, completely different than the other. They ran an entire mainstream boxing event, maybe one of the most impactful main events
on fucking
definitely
Netflix.
Definitely top 3
Mm-hmm.
in the last 50 years on Netflix. And then right before that ran, another Noche event in across the country in San Antonio, Texas, on Mexican Independence Day. Like, who does that? Nobody does that. So you can hate on the UFC all you want. They did that with our teams completely split. Half of us were in San Antonio, half of us were in Vegas.
I didn't even realize that.
And Dana was at fucking both.
Exactly.
San Antonio was amazing. I've always liked Texas. It's, Texas events always show out. The fans were great. And the fighters that were supposed to showed out. It was a great week. The food is good. Drinks are better. I had a good time.
Always.
Yeah. And then I flew to Kansas City straight from San Antonio. I went to Kansas City and, took that punch in the face. So that kind of sucked. But my mother-in-law and little Adley drove from Omaha to Kansas City and met me there. So then we all went to the game. I brought Danny, unfortunately.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I had to listen to that bullshit the whole time. But
It's your mistake.
That is my mistake. And Tracy came to San Antonio. So
great.
Yeah, I got to hang out with Tracy.
Love that.
So Tracy was at the fights with me and sat at the desk and hung out, and then met Danny and my mother-in-law and Adley in Kansas City and took that L and then drove back late last night.
How does it feel now that the Chiefs are 0-2? First time in the Patrick Mahomes era.
Oh, it's fun.
You're not used to this. You're just like me. My Jets 0-2.
It is what it is. Listen, we've been great for a long time, and sometimes you gotta take a couple licks, and I'm okay with that. Because the Chiefs still, unlike the Jets, the Chiefs still could go undefeated the rest of the season. So
I don't know about that. I think the last few seasons it's kind of been Mahomes and prey, and I think it's catching up to them.
Yeah, for sure, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's
you can't even say that.
Oh God, no.
No.
I don't even think the Jets scored a touchdown on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean it's unlikely, but who knows? It is what it is. The games are fun. The stadiums are sold out. The tailgates are fun. Like it's an experience for me. I like to have won for sure, but it was a close game. It was a good time.
Against the Eagles, like it is
long drive home after not a lot of sleep and flying and but whatever. It was a good time.
We're gonna get into the fights. We have Jimmy Smith coming on, who we both worked with at SiriusXM, former UFC commentator, WWE broadcaster, now with ProBox TV. So you guys are going to really get into the nuts and bolts of it, but I haven't really talked to you in 2 weeks. What else do you have going on? I saw some tattoo reel on your Instagram. Like,
yeah. So that's kind of a fun little story too. I met Emma and Glenn, I believe 2 years ago in Salt Lake City at one of those pay-per-views. And, I get this a lot where people that are tattoo artists will say, hey, if you ever want to get tattooed, just let me know. I'll tattoo. And I appreciate the offers and it's always super cool, but they were just good people and they had made friends with some of the, just the UFC staff because they were just good people and they're just fun to be around.
Yeah.
So I just found myself around them a bunch. And then eventually, I don't know, maybe I asked or maybe Glenn showed me. They have the coolest relationship. I hope they don't get mad that I'm talking about this, but they have the coolest relationship. She's pretty reserved, super quiet, very, very, she's an artist, to her soul.
Okay.
She paints, she sculpts, she tattoos. I think she's as amazing of a tattoo artist as she is. Some of her paintings, if you go check out, if you're watching this, go check out my last Instagram post and go look at her work. Her paintings are just insane. They're paintings and sculptures at the same time. Shit's crazy. But Glenn he just rides for her. He's her promoter. She just kind of hangs out and she's real chill. And it's so cool watching him he just wants her to be super successful and just wants people to know how great she is. And it's one of the cutest things in the world. They're such a cool couple. But anyways, at some point in time, I had looked at her Instagram while we were hanging out, and I was like, "Holy fuck, this chick's really, really good." And we've just stayed in contact. And I don't know, a few months ago, she does some things with like cover ups on self harm scars and stuff like that. And she'll pick certain people and we'll cover up some of their scars for free. And I have
Just
these
a
really bad
telltale
scars.
sign of a very good person.
Do I?
That's a telltale sign of just
Oh,
a
for
very
sure.
good person.
For sure. And it's just like something she does because she's wants to do something. So, so we were talking about the scars on my hands, and I've always wanted to cover and fix the tattoos on my hands, but I have the scars from all the surgeries. And it's like, "Hey, you think you could fix that?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course." So we just booked it, and she flew here, and I got them a car and a hotel, and so they came for, I think they were here 4 days, and it was so much fun. They kind of just immersed themselves with my family. It was so much fun. It was so cool. I was unsure if they were going to kind of want to deal with the chaos that is my house with the wild kids and the crazy schedules and running all over the place. They came to one of Araya's volleyball games. They'd never watched a volleyball game before. It was like, volleyball's not like really a thing in Ireland.
Right.
So they came to my kids' volleyball game, like at our middle school. We went to the pumpkin patch together. Like, they are fucking amazing. I had
Your
so much
family
fun.
has a way of doing that, though. I feel like anytime you have
We just
people
adopt people.
around, exactly, and
Like, if
everybody
they're good people and
acclimates
they're
really
fun,
fast.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
and it
just
ends up
adopt
just
them.
being a bigger party than it usually is.
Yeah, we took him out to the four of us went out to a really nice dinner one night. Glenn was positive he wasn't going to find a better steak than he could get in Ireland.
What?
Newsflash, you're in Nebraska, so we obviously had to fix that. I cooked him dinner one night. We just had a really good time, and then she tattooed me, and it was the whole thing was fun. The whole time was fun. So that was a good time. What else have I been doing?
Yeah, so you've really been nonstop. You got a new car?
I did get a new car. I got a new car finally.
Is this stemming back from the
Yeah, my other one's
vendor
still not
truck?
right. Yeah, it's still not right. So I traded that piece of shit in, and got myself a brand new car. That's the first time I've had a brand new car in a long time, actually. Usually I
Really?
get one that's like a year old. I don't know why, just how
Interesting.
I've always done
I
it.
made that mistake with my last car. It was a year old and it was horrendous.
Yeah,
Still have it though.
yeah. Does it still run?
Barely.
Yeah,
I put like over $1,000 into it every year and it's like a brick on wheels, but it gets me from point A to point B.
That's all you need. Yeah, so it's the first brand new car I've had in a little bit, so I'm pretty pumped about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but the shitty part is I'm not gonna do all the shit to it again. Like,
You
do the
don't. You
lift and
don't have to. It's
the
just
lift and the
you, so
wheels
you
and the
will.
tires and the number one thing every time, I won't even drive it until the windows are tinted. I can't. I'm not
You're
driving around no
so
fucking
drama.
fishbowl. No, I'm not driving around in a fishbowl. What if my nose itches and then someone takes a picture of me and puts it on fucking Instagram and I'm like picking my nose. So that's cool. That's been awesome. My family, while I was gone, found a mouse in the skimmer of the pool. And
No.
that's, oh god, it was hilarious.
Is your pool
The
still
video.
open?
It is. Yeah, it is. Oh, there's another issue. See, I don't know if people actually give a fuck about this stuff. Came from nothing, right? I didn't have shit. But so I had a pool put in here because I don't know. I always wanted a pool.
Because you can.
Because it can. So it just became, we just had it. It was like 2 weeks ago. It was like a year. And then I was in it. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was in it. And I like looked over and I noticed that like the water level kept falling like faster. I was like, oh, it's pretty hot. Like maybe it's just evaporating. Just kept filling it, whatever. I looked down, there's a fucking hole in the liner of my brand new pool.
We had that 2 years ago, how to redo the entire thing.
Oh god, I was beside myself.
Are you guys gonna do it before you
yeah, so they came and patched it, and then when they checked it, it looks like there's the company that did it is really good friends of mine, but it's actually getting warrantied out, so I actually don't have to pay for it, which is nice.
Oh, great.
But yeah, it was nothing that was our fault. There was maybe like on the walls, like the metal walls that they build, like with the steps and the sun deck and all that stuff. Apparently they got damaged in shipping and maybe they didn't notice it or whatever. And so there was like a void. And so the void caused the tear in the liner. So yeah, that's just, I don't know, everyday bullshit that, you got to deal with, but
it's free.
but if shit's free, that's like a fucking $30,000 or $40,000 problem. If it's not free, that's a big deal.
You're 1,000% right. It is.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So that's cool. So we had that. I don't know what else is going. That's really it. I'm excited for Jimmy Smith though.
Me too.
I missed that guy. I missed him. I've missed him a lot, and I can't wait to get to chat with him.
We've been talking about him. We bring on one of my favorite people in the world. Certainly not my favorite Smith, because that's who I do this podcast with, Anthony Smith.
Favorite bald Smith. Oh, wait. Favorite bald Smith with facial hair. Oh, no, none of them.
Favorite bald Smith I worked with at Sirius XM.
No.
Not that either.
That doesn't work.
Jimmy Smith.
There are no separators between Anthony and I. My favorite fighter guy who, God.
Not quite that either.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
We get there, though. How are you? I miss you.
I'm good. I miss you, too. I'm effing tired because it's been like, I did an 8.5-hour watch along for Terence Crawford Canelo for Pro Box TV. 8.5 hours on air. So it's just like and then we did all these lead up stuff all week and talking to all these guests. And it was a madhouse. And then I did another show today. So I'm just like, oh God, just a lot.
You're just a workhorse, dude.
Dude, it's, you never know in this business, man. That's the hard part. And broadcasting is like, you might work, you might not. So while you can work all you can, because you just never know when someone's like, never mind, right?
Right.
So yeah, you just got to work as much as you can when you can. Yeah.
So talk about that part of it a little bit, just before we get into the meat and potatoes and the fun stuff. You've been just a voice in this space as long as I can remember. As long as I've been fighting, I've
called a world title in every combat sport.
That's insane.
The only person to ever do that. Because when they called me to do ADCC, right? Flow Grappling called me and said, "Hey, can you do Mat 3 ADCC?" And they can't pay a ton; they're not huge. And I went, you know what? I'll give you guys a break because I haven't called a world championship in submission grappling yet. Right? And they were like, really? I'm like, it's the last one. I'm
like, shit, we'll take a deal.
Right, yeah. I gave them a deal. And also they're fun to work with. It's a cool group, it's pretty informal.
Yeah, Flow's a lot of fun. I wish I could do some more stuff with Flow. I just like their platform. I just like them.
They're just fun. I did Who's Number One down in Miami, like an hour drive, and they were like, hey man, you come here and do it. And but so I've called a world championship in submission grappling, kickboxing, boxing, MMA, and I called WrestleMania.
What was the most fun?
Nuts. The most fun? I just have a MMA is my passion, man. Boxing.
What's the hardest?
And I've called one in boxing. I'm sorry, I've called one in boxing too for PBC. Yeah.
What's the hardest? Like prep wise and just getting ready and just the heavy lift that goes into it.
Pro wrestling, WWE was just the nature, and also the nature of it is like, your prep is meaningless, because I remember that they brought in this a wrestler named Piper Niven from NXT UK, and they brought her in. I did all this prep, and then they go, "No, we're restarting your character. It's like she never existed before today. Her name's Dewdrop now." No. They'll do that. They'll just like, yeah, that person, Austin Theory. Nah, he's just Theory now, and we don't acknowledge anything he ever did before his Raw debut. And you're like, fuck. And it would be like you're calling, the UFC, and they go, no, his name's not John Jones, and he never was light heavyweight champion. All your prep just goes out the window. They just decide that someone never did something that they did. They don't acknowledge. If you're old enough, well, you're not, but I was. In WrestleMania 3, it was the first time Andre the Giant had ever wrestled Hulk Hogan. No, they had wrestled way before that, all through the 80s.
House shows, in
house shows and stuff, But they just erased that from and went first time they ever did it. So WWE is really hard because your prep means nothing. It's just meaningless,
So you've been in the boxing space, as you are. That's how I am too, and that would everything that I do. And honestly, I've really kind of modeled my preparation and that whole part of it after John Anik, because he is so. Because there was when I first started doing these death shows, Jimmy, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. You kind of just get thrown in and you got to figure it out because everyone's process isn't the same. So I do it. It was John Jones, Gustafsson 2 was my first one. Would have been the end of 2018 when it got switched from. Remember, it was in Vegas and then it got switched to Anaheim because of picograms. So I didn't know what to prepare for. I didn't know how to read a format, so I had no idea what I was going to be talking. I mean, I just dug in deep into a whole bunch of shit that didn't matter. I spent probably 8 hours studying shit that had nothing to do with anything. And then I get there and I'm not prepared for what I actually needed to talk about. You know, it's, I think I've told the story a bunch where Bisping kind of saved my ass. And
I haven't heard it.
So we were in rehearsals, and I think I have all this information in my brain. And then the rehearsal starts. It's already uncomfortable. You know, or like rehearsals are weird because you're pretending like you're live on TV, but you're not. And so it was weird. It was the first time I'd ever been a part of it. I had just spent like an hour in a format meeting, and they were speaking a different fucking language. I had no idea what any of the terms meant.
And they don't tell you.
They don't. They just have to figure it out. So I kind of froze in rehearsals, and everyone just kind of panicked. Like, oh my God, he's not going to be able to do this. And then Bisping kind of, nudged me and said, listen, man, don't worry about reading the scripts. Don't look at the formats. Don't worry about any of that stuff right now. Just be engaged in the conversation. And then if you get stuck, look at me, and I always got something to say. And I ended up not ever having to use it. I just took his advice to just be a part, just be present in the conversation and just follow along instead of trying to look at all this paper. And I don't know when I'm on TV, and I don't know which single's mine, and I don't know what the fuck that guy's doing, waving the shit all over, pointing at cameras and stuff. I had no idea what any of that meant. And so I was just engaged in the conversation. And then I think I had that fail safe, knowing if I do get stuck, Bisping will help me out. And I've actually used that same piece of advice to every single guy that I've helped, like break into the desk shows. I've used that exact same phrase the whole time. Like, don't worry about it. Just follow along the conversation. But anyways, the whole point of that was I kind of model myself after kind of John Anik in terms of the preparation and just digging in. And I think you're very, very similar.
Well, I was just for the Who's Number One down in Miami. I was working with Alex Wendling. She does a lot of stuff for Pro Grappling. And one of the things is she was kind of hosting, right? So she would be on IFB with a mic. She was, interviewing the fighters. IFBs always run out. And unless you have a crew that's, as you know, the batteries go dead all the time. And I turned to her and I said, if the batteries go dead, button what you're saying, look at the camera, go back to you, Jimmy, and I'll take it. And her eyes like lit up. She goes, oh my God, thank you. I was like, don't start. Oh my God. Just go back to you, Jimmy. And I'll start talking, and the producer will switch to my microphone. And it'll, you're letting everybody, you're handing the ball off to me, and I'll take it. And she was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Similar thing. I remember.
I had one die in New York one time. We were doing those outdoor shows in the middle of the show. Yeah. And I didn't know what I was kind of, and I've been doing this a while. It wasn't that long. It was like a year ago. And it died in the middle of the show. And Megan O'Leary's died at the exact same time. So we couldn't hear a goddamn thing from the truck or from any of the producers. And I kind of had a little bit of a panic moment. And then Megan just pulled it out. And then we just kept going with the conversation. And she kind of buttoned up whatever we were talking about through to a feature that she knew was going to be coming up at some point. It wasn't exactly when it was supposed to, but she just threw to the feature. That gave us plenty of time.
Producer Bell, yeah.
It was. It's funny like that, like how much stuff like that happens while we're live on TV and nobody has any idea.
Yeah. When I was calling PFL in South Africa recently, they kept turning off my IFB in between interviews to save the battery, right? Because I always run out of battery. And the stagehand, they need to be right there because, and she wasn't, I was looking around going, turn this thing on. And she ran up to me and said, they told me there wasn't going to be an interview. And I grabbed her by the shoulders and I went, listen to me very carefully. They always change their mind. You have to be right here next to the door because, as you know, they'll go, all right, we don't want to interview for this guy. And then like 2 minutes before, they'll go, we're running late. Go ahead and interview. Well, if you're not here to help me, I got to take it off and I can't turn it on, put it back. It won't look good.
Right. You're shoving it in your pocket. You're shoving it like in the back of your underwear.
Right. And she goes, well, they told me there wasn't one. I said, this is not the Super Bowl. They change things all the time. You have to be standing right here before every interview. And I'll tell you, I don't need you or I do need you, but you have to be right here. She was out doing other stuff. This is all shit you learn.
Happened over the weekend at the Noche event. They were like, all right, desk is clear. Go get your break. Main card's about to start. You guys are good. But there was still like 6 minutes till the actual start of the main event. And I was like, are you sure we're clear? They were like, yeah, you're good. We were in the elevator. And they're like, get back up to the desk. It's like, I knew it. I knew this was going to happen.
You get a feel for this after it's almost 20 years for me. You just get a feel for like, I'm going to sit here because I think, I don't think this is going to be the last you're going to see of me. And you just learn that shit. But like nobody, I remember Michael Chiesa called me. We were going to work together on Fox Jazz and he called me. I sent him my number on social media. I said, hey man, if you need anything, give me a call. Mm-hmm. He called me and goes, I'm freaking out. And I said, look, The camera with the red light is the one that's on. Look at that one. Layout means shut up. Piggyback means talk after somebody else. That's about it. I go, but they don't teach them the jargon. So, and also it's so stupid when they do death shows and somebody's new, they have 4 cameras. And what the guy's pointing to is what camera is the one you're supposed to look at. But you don't know that because you don't fucking work there. And guys were like looking off into space, and I go, they didn't tell them. The camera with the red light on is the one that they just don't explain that shit to you. And so when someone comes on, that like everything, you have to teach them all that shit, like these 5 words. But it's almost like when someone starts jujitsu and you're like, oh, mount is this, back means this. When I say, or like you choking somebody, and you're like, what's wrong? Dude, tap. Like it's so normal to us, but like they don't.
It's simple.
Like screaming, like, dude, just.
Sometimes it's almost too easy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you mean layout just means layout.
Layout.
Until you start getting good, and then they're like, I think he's good enough. I can count him down until we get off air.
Yeah.
Like,
5.
wait a second. No, well, then they'll start like 20. So I'm like making this dope point, and I'm like, I'm getting down that road where I'm about to hit the fans with something real. And like 20, 19, 18. Well, fuck, I was ready to be off in 5. I don't have another 20 seconds of shit to say.
Yeah, sometimes you got to extend like that, and you just go,
yeah. All right, man. Well, now that we've nerded out for a second.
Dorked out. Everybody's too down.
Dorked out. Yeah, that's all right. Obviously, we had the Canelo Crawford thing. What did I was so biased going into the fight because I've been looking up to Terence, and I are about the same age. And I've known Terence since I started this, since I was 16 or 17 years old. And I've always looked up to him. He's always been kind of the hero in Nebraska, and everyone's just kind of waiting for him to get his moment. So I knew from the very beginning when people would ask me my opinion, how do you think this goes? I can't give you an actual legitimate breakdown of how I think this fight is going to go because I'm so biased. I can't imagine a world where Terence Crawford loses. I just can't see it. And I know that that's so unrealistic in this game. And it happens in MMA sometimes too, where I have to be open to my biases and say, listen, I'm too close to this. I'm going to tell you what I think, but I don't know if it's actual real or if I'm speaking with my heart. So I felt like that going into the Crawford fight, where I just couldn't see a world where Canelo was going to outbox him and deal with the speed advantage and really his mentality is different. I've never met a person like Terence Crawford. I've never seen anybody train the way that he trains. I'm not talking about the intensity. Everybody trains hard. I've never met a person who can do everything exactly the same from both stances. Guys can switch. They can fight and they can be effective out of both stances. But for him to be a natural orthodox fighter and just say, I think we're in the 3rd round, I'm going to try southpaw, and then stay like that for the entire rest of it's crazy to watch.
Unreal.
But going into the fight, like when you're doing your shows and you're getting your guests and you guys are breaking it down leading up to it, what did you see that interested you in that fight?
Well, I picked Crawford. Too. So it wasn't just you. A lot of people went, I just don't, the way I saw this fight is, and we were working with a boxing coach named Bob Santos, who's really, really good. And he said, I just don't see a world where Canelo's power isn't a problem. He's got to fight perfectly for 12 rounds. And I go, if anyone can fight perfectly for 12 rounds, it's Terence Crawford. I was like, Oh man, he's got to have the perfect fight and do everything right. I'm like, yeah, but that's how he fights. Like, back in Mayweather's prime, he just did everything right all the time. And it was a similar kind of thing where I went, yeah, if anybody can do that for 12 rounds, I don't see a world where Canelo is able to land anything significant on Terence Crawford. I see it the other way around. I don't see a world where Terence takes a big shot that makes him go, man, I better back off here. The way we were leading up to this was we were all, and we do this and it's our job, but we overanalyzed every stupid little thing because of the weight disparity. When he got on the scale and he looked good, he shredded, he looked big, and they were squaring off and like, Canelo doesn't look a lot. He's thicker. I got a thick neck. He's a thick dude. But the only thing that would have maybe changed my mind, if he had looked, oh man, Canelo looks so much thicker than Crawford. Man, Crawford doesn't look.
Or if Terence was a little soft.
Or if Terence
put the weight on was a little soft.
Like he's carrying around too much weight. He looked ripped, ready. When they squared off, you went, all right, he looks big. He looks good. And remember, Canelo's 5'8" or something. He's not like a massive 168 pounder, right? So as soon as the physical disparity didn't look crazy, I was like, I think Crawford wins this, and I just don't see a situation where Canelo can really use power on him. And we were talking to Timothy Bradley. I know you know of him, 140-pound champion. And he said, Jimmy, back in the day, we brought in Terence to spar with me when he was nobody and I was world champion. Jimmy, he kicked my ass. He looked right at the camera and goes, he kicked my ass. And he was like 6-0. I'm 32-0. I'm a world champion. And this dude from Omaha that we had never heard of was kicking my ass. And I was like, dude, this guy's going to be a world champion. He's going to be a legend. And he's right. And for Tim to say that, whatever it is, 15 years after the fact, that's balls. He was like, dude, I was a world champion. He came in there and sparring and housed me. And so he's just one of those special talents. And that's what I saw.
Yeah, I think the one thing that made me nervous is at times throughout Terence's career, and I would say this to him if he was sitting there, at times his ego will take over. Oh, yeah. But it's happened in situations where he was just that much better and he could get away with it. But I think like in the Gamboa fight, I talk about that fight a lot because that was just Gamboa. Right there. Yep. He got clipped a couple times. Kind of being, you could tell, I don't want to say he was half-assing it, but he was head and shoulders above and better than Gamboa.
Dude, but Gamboa at the time was a monster, dude. That dude was
for
quick and powerful.
Yeah, that was a dangerous fight, but you could see in the fight, Terence was like, oh yeah, this is easy. And it's one of those fights where he started it off orthodox and like the fourth round switched and never went back. And Gamboa was kind of pressuring him and put a couple big shots on him as he was like circling out. And Terence's ego got in there a little bit. And listen, not for nothing, Terence is a goddamn gangster too. So he kind of started fighting a little bit. He set his feet in some mud and just started throwing. And the one I just kept thinking, you cannot do that with Canelo. You can't stand and brawl with him. I thought if he does that, then we could get in trouble. But in a fight with a guy like Canelo, as dangerous as he is, I didn't think that was going to be something Terence would do. But it was definitely the one part that I thought could get him in trouble. And then as the fight starts, first round goes, second round goes, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing Canelo, a couple things. I saw Canelo unable to use his power because when he used that body shot, Terence came right in with the jab hook, right off the body shot. So he would catch the body shot with his elbow and kind of mitigate it. And in that space, bing, bing. And Canelo went, oh, crap. Like that big weapon, Canelo's a great body puncher. And it's also a punch you want to use early to put money in the bank later. And he couldn't do that. And at times, I'm not saying he would start a brawl, but Terence would stand his ground, wouldn't brawl, but he would set his feet, like you're saying, in the mud and go, come on, all right, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. And Canelo couldn't or wouldn't take advantage of that. Like, he was stinging Canelo enough that Canelo didn't just go, all right, it's time to brawl, because every time he would throw something significant, he'd eat a counterpunch. So what I saw was someone's advantages being taken away from them early. And when you get a guy frustrated, man, especially in boxing,
you can see it in his face.
Yeah, and in boxing, what I tell people is when someone's out boxing you in boxing, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. In MMA, I can always find something like, all right, I have a better low kick than this guy. I have something better than this guy. When you're getting outboxed in boxing,
that's kind of it.
It's you don't have a lot of weapons, man, and. He was getting outboxed in boxing, and I could feel that frustration. The only thing I was thinking as it started progressing was, dude, Crawford might walk away with this thing. Like, it's not even just win, but man, he's making him look like he shouldn't be in there with him, and that's impressive to me.
I thought I was really enjoying watching. Everyone talks about how good Terence is. I don't think we talk enough about how smart he is and how tactical he is in terms of his fight IQ. I thought him starting rounds differently every single time. Like, he'd start one round where he would be back to being elusive, hard to hit, super fast, touch, and then get out of there. And then the next round, he would start it with pressure, and he would, like all of a sudden now he's back in Canelo to the ropes. Canelo starts to explode a little bit, and then Terence gets back on his mobility. I thought it was just magical. The
Canelo going to the ropes earlier. I remember that. He would look like, and I went, Canelo's just going to the ropes, going shit, like almost like, all right, I can't chase him, so how would I stay here and maybe make him come to me and explode?
And then Terence wouldn't commit. It was kind of just
that didn't work either.
Touching, it was just a magical performance. It was fun to watch. Where does that put? And if we're just talking, I mean, everyone knows the stats and the belts and the accolades that came with all of that. Where does that put him historically in the sport of boxing?
he is this generation's GOAT, in my humble opinion, right? Usyk is the only one who comes close, beat a lot of great heavyweights. We tend to, and we should, see lighter guys as more technical than heavyweights. Like the greatest heavyweight of all time isn't as technical as the greatest welterweight of all time. It's just lighter weights can do more stuff. So when I look at the GOAT conversation, I usually, every now and then there's an Ali or there's a heavyweight where you go, oh, that guy is pound for pound great. And Usyk, we have one right now that's a pound for pound great. Also a lighter heavyweight. Post Mayweather, I think Crawford is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. And I the only person you put ahead of him is Usyk. Noya Inoue has taken more punches in one fight than Crawford has his whole. I love Noya Inoue. I think he's incredibly excited, but he does like to grab his paws and go. And Crawford, even when he does that, he doesn't get clipped and dropped. Noya has been dropped in his last couple fights. He's the GOAT post Mayweather. Where does that put him all time? It's so hard to compare eras in boxing, partly because there's so many. It's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And Sugar Ray Robinson was at one point in his career 98 1-1 or something. Like, no one does that anymore. Like, guys don't fight every 2 weeks. Right? So it's almost like comparing, Frank Shamrock to a modern mixed martial arts. Well, you can't really do that. Right. Like, Frank is a freaking 155 pounder today, right? He was a light heavyweight back then. It's a different era. But he's the post Mayweather GOAT. We were looking for one post Mayweather. I think Terence Crawford is that guy 100%. My only question now is, you got all that gold, but it's at a weight class you normally don't fight. Are we going to see a couple? And now anything you do is going to be huge money. Here's where you cash in all those years where you weren't making big money is right now. So the idea that he walks away, no. I think there's a couple more big fights. Dude, Terence, if you're listening, cash in that. Canelo was your ticket to the big time. Cash it in for the next couple fights.
Do they do it again?
I wouldn't want to see it. Canelo had nothing for him. It would sell.
Make a lot of money. As a Terence Crawford supporter, I would love him to get that fat check.
You want to see him get paid? Again.
Of course, I want to see him get paid. Am I super interested in the X's and the O's in that? I don't know that there's enough time for either one of them for Canelo to make up. And I'm not saying that Terence smoked him and it wasn't even close, but I don't know that at both of their ages that either one of them are going to advance enough to make a significant difference in a rematch.
I tell people all the time about a wide variety of subjects. Okay. Sometimes you never know becomes,
Yeah.
You never know what that's going to add to his game. At 37, I know, right? Yeah. Like, it's it's one of those things where at a certain point, guys, we know what you bring. Like, you're not going to add.
Canelo just is what he is right now.
Canelo is what he is. And Crawford to some degree is what he is. He just has a lot of stuff. He just has a lot of weapons, But the idea that he adds some kind of new wrinkle to his game at 37 with Eddie Reynoso, the same trainer he's had for his whole career, I find that hard to believe. And then even if he switched trainers and went somewhere else, like, really, you going to teach an old dog new tricks at this point? Probably. And tricks are going to work on, once again, the GOAT of this era? No. I agree.
Not at all. You think Terence is top 5 all time?
Top 5 all time? All right, okay. All right.
I was going to say top 10, but I would say top 10 is probably a shoe-in. He's absolutely
top 10, yes.
Top 10,
top 5
best boxers of all time.
Statistically and numbers-wise, Sugar Ray Robinson is the pound-for-pound GOAT. Can't get around that. I really honestly believe that. You have to put Mayweather in there. Now, I could even call Mayweather comparable, but Mayweather's probably just untouchable. Like, literally, you just couldn't lay a glove on him. Got to put Ali top 5, right? Especially his resume. Fought, I believe, 14 Hall of Famers. Mm-hmm. It's insane what the guy did. Roy Jones Jr. If you ever saw a prime Roy Jones Jr.,
okay, it's different.
I got to go Roberto Duran, and then I would put probably.
Yeah.
Because
it's so hard. There's so many good boxers that have been
so many
alive.
great boxers, and also Roberto Duran won a title at middleweight. The guy's a freaking lightweight. He's a 35er, so similar kind of thing where he went up crazy weight classes, and one of the 4 kings, man. He fought everybody. So and also it was an era where I was recently, we were looking it up, and when Sugar Ray Leonard fought Tommy Hearns, which is my favorite fight of all time, they were like 25 and 23. Like right in their physical prime, come get it, I want to kill you years. And nowadays we just get like, Terence isn't making crazy money till he's like 37, whatever he is. Like
37,
yeah, like These guys fought like I'm 22 and I'm 40-0, and it's just nuts. Right? Back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, it's a different time. Did you see? Before we move on, this is my segue. You're gonna like this.
I love it.
Did you see this Topuria shit? That where Topuria was saying he'd knock out Terence Crawford, and then Terence was like, "Wait a second, this is wild."
You mean in boxing? Like you're asking a lot.
You mean in a fight?
Dude, Terence is a good wrestler. Apparently, Nebraska, as you know, is a tough wrestling state, dude.
I've seen him.
Yeah, if you were a standout wrestler in Nebraska, you're damn good.
His kids are like Tulsa national champions too. Killers.
Yeah, that ain't easy. That's tough to do.
Killers.
It's just you would look like an idiot. I mean, like it's not even like Terence is one of those guys, much like Mayweather. He'll make you look stupid. He won't just like. And also,
he was clowning Canelo fucking Alvarez to his face, laughing at him. Like Canelo would throw his that patented Canelo body shot. He'd cover it, just stick him with 2 hard ones, and then circle out and laugh in his face. Like Ilia Topuria is going to knock him out. Yeah, right.
Well,
good
people
fucking luck.
Conor Mayweather. Mayweather was past his prime. He had retired and was kind of coming back. 2. Mayweather is one of those guys who tends to start slowly. He doesn't want to get hit early. He measures. He takes his time.
He's passive.
He's a showman. I think you want to give the fans a little bit for their money. Terence would be insulted. You got in the ring. Dude, the dude's a dog, and you know better than I do. Mm-hmm. He's a mean son of a bitch from what I've heard. He's competitive.
He'd be offended that you signed the contract.
He'd be offended, dude. And he would make Topuria pay for that in a way that
ugly. I think this is one of the few. It doesn't happen often where you get like a UFC champion or, a top guy that's got incredible boxing, that's had a really successful run, and they call out a boxer. And then you get the boxing folks, they're like, oh, that guy's fucking stupid. The MMA people, the real hardcore, followers of said fighter, like, well, maybe, like even Conor, like he even had me convinced for a second. I don't know, maybe he lands a big shot on Mayweather. He's a bigger guy. Like you can almost convince people. This is one of the few times where everyone was like, seriously, we need to lock Ilia Topuria in a room and keep him away from Terence Crawford.
Because he's going to hurt you, bro. Whatever money you're getting paid is not worth getting humiliated. I mean, I guess I get humiliated for $20 million, but like, he's going to hurt you, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's going to hurt you.
All right, well, Nebraska, stand the fuck up for your guy. Nebraska volleyball undefeated. Nebraska football undefeated. Terence Crawford, the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Huskers, always fun.
It's a good day to be a Nebraska guy, right? That's for sure. Noche, did you watch the Noche event? Even though
I watched the main event, I had to work all freaking Saturday and Sunday morning. So I watched the main event. I don't remember how. I somehow watched the main event.
It's like how?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think I came home and I was kind of wired up, and I just went and watched it. And I saw, of course, Kelvin Gastelum missed weight by 5 pounds, but I knew that days ago. Dude, the main event was like. When Diego took his back and he rolls over and gets full mount, I go, is it 1998? When was the last time you saw somebody get mounted and just bang, bang, bang? That's so rare these days because guys are so defensively sound and they move so well.
When he took his back, or when he had mount and he took his back and used a half Nelson to flip him back over to mount, I was like, oh God, he's so far behind.
It's crazy. And rarely does somebody get mounted. Once again, like it's 1998, you get mounted and beat up. That almost never happens because guys are so slick these days. Like, holding mount is almost like riding a horse or something. Like you're so hard. It's so hard to stabilize that you can't just go crazy with your hands. He just sat up and beat the piss out of him. And I went, man, I haven't seen this in years. When was the last time you saw something mount and destroyed? It's pretty rare at the elite level. Main event.
I would much rather someone went to mount because it's just easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Like if you get someone really good in side, like a top pressure guy from side control, it's horrific. Yeah. There's nothing worse. I'd rather they went to mount. I'll either defend that or I'll just hip escape and I'll get back to half guard and we can get back to something I can deal with. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, he housed him from mount, which I haven't seen in years.
This is a black belt versus a decent blue belt.
Yeah,
it's kind of the level that I was watching, which kind of thinks I got a couple questions.
Please.
What do you do with Diego Lopez? Because he just fought for the title. It's pretty competitive with Volkanovski.
Yeah.
At times. But Volk is, if they fought a bunch of times, that probably happened most of those times. They fought 10 times, 8 out of 10. As long as Volkanovski can absorb the damage that he's going to catch here and there, he's going to point fight him. He's going to stay on the outside. He's going to be faster. Until Volk ages out, he probably beats him most of the time.
That's the problem with 45. 45 is just aging out. Like, it reminds me a little bit of when Conor beat Jose Aldo, and then Conor obviously moved up, and you kind of went, well, Aldo's champ. Once again, Volk was champ again. We're not super excited about that because, once again, the guy who housed him moved up, much like Ilia Topuria did. And then Holloway came in, and we went, okay, this is the new guy. I don't see that new guy on the horizon right now. To your point, Diego Lopez is he might have a better chance against Volk, but like the first fight wasn't particularly close. I'm not that excited about a rematch. It's a division that needs that new blood. It's just aging out, and what can you do, right? Lerone Murphy, is that anybody that, and like,
it sounds like Lerone Murphy's gonna get a title shot.
He might, but it's one of those things where are you like over the moon? I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but it's not like, oh my God, I can't wait for
good for him, for sure.
Yeah, good for him.
He's probably the guy. But there's not the, I don't know, there's not the next person where you're like,
there's not the Ilya where we all went, oh shit.
I can't wait to see this guy fight.
Yeah, this dude's a problem. And by the way,
what do we run Mopsar back again? I don't know.
By the way, is Kelly there? Is she listening, or is she like doing her nails or something?
She's probably like, I don't know.
She's probably doing her nails or something.
Okay, there she is.
Okay, Kelly, was I not Ilya like from the beginning? I was like, before anybody knew him, I was like, this motherfucker's bad. First time I saw him.
You have been on him since before anybody else.
I was like, this dude is money. And everyone's like, oh, he's good, but I was like,
I wasn't. And I figured, but you know what? You know who made me realize why I wasn't? Dominic Cruz.
What is that?
And I think I had this, I think I said, Dominic Cruz kind of changed
the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's going back to
fix her nails.
Dominic, he said this to me not that long ago, and I was trying to figure out like why some things I just can't, like why am I not seeing something? Like you said, you've seen the Topuria thing from the very beginning. His attitude and his approach was a bit off-putting for me. And I knew he was good. Like stylistically, he was great. I wanted to see him versus some high-level guys and see if he was as effective with high-level guys. But I was a bit like put off by him a little bit, and I couldn't figure out why. And Dominic Cruz said, what is it in him that you see in yourself that you don't like? And I was like, whoa. It's like the deepest shit I've ever. Yeah, I was like, and so I really started thinking about it. It's really just jealousy. Like I think I said this not that long ago on here. I'm jealous that I just wish I was that good. And I see that in him and I don't see it in me. And that's the problem. Because now that if I go back and watch it, like it was there the whole time. It was there the whole time. It doesn't matter who you do it against. You can see the skills.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'm going to do some old people shit right now. Okay. Fedor, when he fought Minotauro the first time, and Minotauro's guard was the shit. He was tapping on everybody in pride. And Fedor dove into his guard like, wow, boom. Like, I don't give a shit. Ilya did the same thing against Ryan Hall. Oh, Ryan Hall, the boogeyman of jiu-jitsu. And he went,
didn't give a fuck.
Whoa, I don't give a fuck. Like, try to submit me and watch me. Like, and Ryan Hall just went like, whoa,
you're supposed to be afraid of me.
You're supposed to be afraid of my amazing guard. And Ilya just went, nope. That to me is balls. When you go, go ahead, try. I'm going to get out of everything you do. And it reminded me of the first time I saw Minotauro and Nogueira. I mean, Minotauro Nogueira versus Fedor. I was like, Fedor just dove into his guard, just went, shook off his triangle, hit him again, shook off the armbar, hit him again. I was like, okay, that kind of.
The other Topuria moment, very similar to the Ryan Hall one, was when he fought Josh Emmett. And that's when I really got on board. When the entire division for however many years Josh Emmett has been in the UFC has been retracting like a cat from water anytime he starts to throw a punch. And Topuria didn't take a single fucking tiny step backwards. No. Stayed in the pocket, threw when he threw, didn't give a fuck. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's insane. The mental capability to stay calm in the fire with a guy like Josh Emmett like that was one of the most impressive things in the world for me to watch, especially in person.
Yeah, but to watch that way up and go, oh, this might be the guy. And then he goes, I'm going to 55. Fine. I get why. But on the radar at 45, I don't see that next Ilya. I'm not saying Lerone Murphy can't win. Right. There's a next champion and then there's the next guy. And they're not the same thing.
So on the other side, before I get you out of here, I'm sure you got to get a nap in. You're aging and you've been working.
You saw that kid. You saw that adorable kid come in here.
I did.
Adorable daughter.
I did. Yes. We got to get you back to her.
Good. Got to read some Dr. Seuss. What?
There we go.
I'm not scared to say it, bro. I'm going to go read some Shel Silverstein. Light in the Attic. You know what's up?
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I get all defensive. Go ahead.
What do you do with Jean Silva? Because I think we've kind of seen. I don't want to say that the fighting nerds have been exposed, but to a point, We have seen them struggling with the ground game. I think that although he did get knocked out from a spinning elbow, I think all of that started with the bullshit he ended up in with some, some unfavorable grappling exchanges. That's what started. Yeah. We've seen Rufy ran into some problems with some of the grappling. We've seen Ian Gary out grapple Carlos Prates. They've had a little bit of a rough run. I'm not saying that they write them off. They're never going to be good. That's not what I'm saying. Do you feel like maybe they got exposed a little bit and they have maybe a team-wide gap that they need to make up?
The fighters saying, Silva did an interview, I think it was yesterday, and said the same. Yeah, we need to work on some things. We need to kind of go back to the drawing board. We need to do this, this, and that. The genius of, and you're a football fan like me, the genius of a coach is not the game plan. It's the adjustments. Mm-hmm. So what do you do at the half when we're like, okay, this isn't working out? What do we do? Every team gets exposed at some point. Like, remember when City Kickboxing was just untouchable, and then it was like, Volk lost, and then, Izzy lost. And what happens, man? When you do something right, okay, when you have a great game, when you have a great fight, every other team goes back to the drawing board and goes, all right, we're all getting ready for this thing, right? The tush push or whatever. Like, we're all going.
Oh, you got to bring that shit up.
I got to bring up that stupid shit.
I was there yesterday in Kansas City and watched 47,000 fucking tush pushes. I wanted to rip my guy. If I had hair, I'd have torn it out. I was so pissed off.
It's so maddening. When I was a kid, once again, I'm super old. The West Coast offense for the 49ers, every team went, okay, all this stuff we're doing, let's all wash. They got Jerry Rice, they got Joe Montana. We got to figure out how to deal with the spread West Coast offense. It's a similar thing in MMA, man. Some team will be hot for a minute, and then everybody goes to the drawing board and finds a way to counter what they're doing, and then you got to go back to your drawing board and counter the counter. And the Black Zillions were red hot for a minute. It's like, it's just everybody
Greg
has.
Jackson's was the same thing.
Greg Jackson's with the
every
shit.
Team had their thing, and then their thing got figured out, and then they had to find a new fucking thing.
Then they had to not find a new fucking thing. And the team that finds a new fucking thing that's the real team. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I credit, and I know I'm a Steelers fan, but Mike Tomlin has gone to playoffs with garbage teams for like the last 4 years. And he just finds a way to get the most out of his guys when he needs to. He didn't have, the 92 Cowboys and went, hey, guys, go win a Super Bowl. You're all Hall of Famers. Go win a Super Bowl, right? It's this idea of what do you do when you have to go back to the drawing board? Mm-hmm. And I think that's huge. And it's boxing, remember, wild card was it, man.
Yeah.
Freddie Roach is just champ after champ after champ. And then people figure out, and you got to go change things up. And now it's some other coach. And
it's my favorite part of the game. It's my favorite part of the game is seeing, like, the favorite part will be when the fighting nerds figure it out. They're either gonna figure out the wrestling part of it, they're gonna figure out the get-ups, or they're just gonna really dive into the jiu-jitsu part of it, and you're gonna see them start hitting butterfly sweeps, and it's gonna either way, if they figure it out, it's gonna be fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah, but it's all timing too. And like when Bo Nickel was coming out and everybody's all hyped on Bo Nickel, I said he didn't start this till he was like 26. That's real late to pick up all the skills you need to pick up to be a modern mixed martial artist. He's a great wrestler. Yeah, I'm not saying that isn't great. I'm saying, he's been kickboxing for a year, right? Like, back in the day, you could kind of come in with I'm a great wrestler and do pretty well. Now it's like, Ben Askren was a really good wrestler. And as soon as that didn't work, his kickboxing was garbage. And it was just, no one stopped his takedown enough for anybody to realize it. Right. And you only have so many years to pick up all these skills. So, hey, we have to adjust to all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, as we were saying about Crawford, like, you come to an age where you're like, look, you better learn real quick because the sport just evolves so quickly that sometimes
some of them might be just what they are.
Yeah.
That might just be what they are. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the game.
Smiths. That's what
all
we
right,
are.
Dude. You first of all, I appreciate you coming on. I need to get you out of here. I need to get you in here with me more often.
Anytime.
We got to do this more often for sure.
Kelly called me like, somebody backed out. Can you come here? And I was like, all right, is that how you're going to say it? She's like,
I actually tried to fire her.
I'm not thrilled to be here. Like, she's like, I'm not thrilled.
I tried to fire her and she brought you so that I didn't.
She was like,
don't fire me. I swear to God, I'll bring
I'm
Jimmy.
not thrilled to make
okay,
this
fine,
fucking call. I don't want to hear your voice, Jimmy, but do you want to fucking come on? Please say no. And I'm like, you know what? Just out of spite, I'm going to come on this fucking show. Just out of spite. So she hasn't called me to be on the show. And now she knows that I'll be on the show.
There we go. All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you. You get to that beautiful little girl of yours. Get some rest.
Much love,
and we'll see you on the other side, my friend.
My fellow Smith. Talk to you later, bro.
My guy. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults aged 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco. If you're 21 or older and use nicotine or tobacco, it's time you charge ahead and join the herd with America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative, Black Buffalo. Now available at thousands of best-in-class retailers like Wawa, Circle K, Sheetz, Love's, Pilot, Racetrack, and more. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015 to honor the ritual and tradition of dip without the tobacco leaf or stem. Black Buffalo's long cut and pouches are made of barn-cured leafy greens that dip and feel like traditional products, all with food-grade ingredients and USP-grade nicotine. You're in good company with the Black Buffalo herd. Brand ambassadors like MMA Hall of Famer Cowboy Cerrone, professional race car driver Ryan Blaney, and country music star Larry Fleet all proudly dip Black Buffalo tobacco alternative, an American brand built on authenticity and respect. If you're looking for a real dip experience, long cut or pouches, go to blackbuffalo.com to join the herd. Use their store locator to find a retailer near you or ship products directly to you in most states. Black Buffalo tobacco alternative. The future of dip, honoring the past.
Before we move on, one thing that you guys, you touched on it briefly, but I did want to get your take on it. The Kelvin Gastelum weight woes that continued this weekend. He's now missed weight 4 times in his career, I believe. And this was the first time he missed at 85, though. He weighed in at 191.
Right.
Fight went on, he won, but I think still the story of Kelvin Gastelum for the weekend is the weight miss. So I just wanted to get your take on that. And, what do you think they do with him moving forward?
Yeah, so full disclosure, we tried to get Kelvin on here to talk just about the fight and what happened with the weight and to maybe just get his side of it. I don't want to just sit here and just trash him, and that's not what I'm going to do. But we did try. He's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on, and I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about it.
It's fair enough.
It's unfortunate because what a couple like real barn burning performances he's had in his last 2 fights. I thought he looked really good against Joe Pyfer, against a really, he's got some miles on him, and Joe Pyfer's on fire right now. He's got crazy power. I thought Kelvin looked it was a good fight. I don't know that he looked great, but it was a good fight. It was exciting. I was sat next to Dean the entire time, and that was a great fight. His performance on Saturday was phenomenal. It's just, he still got it. Kelvin Gastelum's been in the UFC for what feels like 35 years, and he's 33 years old.
Isn't that wild? He's one of those guys.
Yeah, it's so wild. He's had so many fights and he's still so young. But the dark cloud is the weight. We got to figure that out. You can't do that. You can't do it. I missed, I weighed in at 206 for a backup
title fight.
For a backup title fight in Brazil. And I had to eat shit for it because you can't do that. And he's done it repeatedly, and he's too fucking good. He's too goddamn popular to miss that way. And again, I'm not being disrespectful. He has it to lose. It's not like he's sucked up and we're seeing every ab that he has and all of his ribs and his spine. He has it to lose. And to his defense, he did take it on short notice. And I'm saying, sure, I think it was like 4 weeks. For Kelvin, a guy who does cut a significant amount of weight, he does have to be super dialed in. So it probably does take him 10 weeks to kind of efficiently get down to weight. So 4 weeks doesn't sound like it's really short notice, but if you're a guy that does have some weight struggles, you probably do take 8, 9, 10 weeks to get down there. So I don't like seeing people make fun of him, like with the taco memes and calling him fat and skinny fat or whatever they're saying about. I don't like that. Like I don't think that we need to use this moment to make fun of him. It
also comes from people who have never cut weight a day in their life for the most part. So,
but we can say he does have it to lose. It's there. So he's got to get that dialed in. And I don't know if he uses a nutritionist. I don't know if he has a team behind him that does that. If he doesn't, I have an incredible recommendation for him. And I mean that very, very wholeheartedly. My team would have no issues getting Kelvin on weight as long as he's able and willing to do what he's told. And maybe that's the issue. Who knows? It's hard. Cutting weight is hard. I like to eat. And Kelvin likes to eat. It's tough. It's really tough to really shut it down and change your entire life for however long it takes to get down there. Again, I'm not making excuses for him. 4 weeks, if you are a guy that takes 8 or 9, 10 weeks to get down, is it's a pretty heavy lift. It's a large ask. But he paid for it. 35%. I don't know what Kelvin makes, but I'll guarantee you it's a fuck ton.
Well, that's 35%. The thing too. And it's the 35% of his purse is gone. And he does pick up the win in a fight that he looked good in, but it's overshadowed, unfortunately, by the miss. So it's almost like the fight didn't even happen because we're not even talking about his win and his performance.
Right.
We're all still talking
and that's
about
what I want. And that's what I want to do. I want to talk about the fight. Like, he looked really good.
He did.
He looked at, like, there was some flashes of some brilliance there. You know, he might have the best, like, 1-2 draw 1-2 in the game. I mean, he just kind of hits it repeatedly from different angles, different spots. He hides a lot of his game behind some filler shit, but that's essentially his entire game is kind of worked around that. So that was really fun to watch. Just watch him. He's so smart. Like, he's just got his system in his game. And the only guys that really beat up on Kelvin are guys that have something that's really, really hard to deal with. Like the Izzy fight, he had a really tough time just dealing with the range and the reach, and still found himself in a Hall of Fame worthy fight, obviously. Pyfer is different because he hits so goddamn hard.
Right.
That changes your approach. So it's those type of guys that give Kelvin problems, but that's kind of across the board for any fighters. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his opponent. I feel bad for him because people are making fun of him, and I don't like that. I don't like the just bullying.
Well, again, it comes from the fucking Twitter trolls too.
Like, you want to talk about him missing weight and how unprofessional it is and how it's bullshit and he needs to be a professional and whatever. Please.
Well, it's warranted.
And he would expect that. I don't think that he's not going to read it, but if he did, he'd say, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
It's also not his first rodeo. Like,
right. He knows it's coming, but
exactly.
calling him fat and, just like bullying him, it's kind of fucked up and I don't like it.
Hopefully maybe when the dust settles, we can get him on here to kind of talk about what went wrong and really just a moving forward kind of approach.
For sure. And like what he wants next. Yeah. He's in the fire right now, which, and I talked to him in the host hotel afterwards. And I do this a lot. Like, if I have to say something, I don't want to even say negative, but if I have to say something that I think maybe a fighter is going to be bothered by, first of all, I'll tell you this, it's not going to discourage me from saying it. Because I'm always going to be honest, whether you think it's true or not. It's my truth. It's what I believe to be the truth. But I'm still going to say it. But I have no problem going up to them and saying, here's the deal. Like, maybe you're going to hear me say something bad. It's not personal. I like you a lot. And I bigged him up. I said, I love your fucking game. I love watching you fight. I love how you fight. I love your personality in the octagon. The dude is fearless. He fights with a lot of bravery. He takes a lot of big shots, and it never changes the way he approaches it. There's no one else like Kelvin Gastelum. There's really not. He's deceivingly athletic. His hand speed is impressive. And again, I'm not making fun of him, but for his weight, his hand speed is impressive. His takedown defense was fantastic, as it always is. He never gets tired. And maybe he does get tired, but he never changes the way he fights. It never affects his output. And I told him all of those things in the host hotel. But we do and did have to talk about the weight miss. So here's how I feel about you. I also said that on TV, but I also brought up the fact that you missed weight.
It's just it's the nature of the beast. It's going to happen. And I think he understands that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And you know what? I hope he gets another big fight, and it's exciting, and I hope he makes weight. We won't talk about it for a minute. All right, let's get off this negative stuff. This is typically the spot I think we would break down next weekend's fights, but I think all of us in the fight game need a little bit of a break. I think we had a long weekend. But I still want to give a shout out to Legendz, the official sweepstakes partner of the On Paper podcast. It's 100% free to play. You make your fight picks, climb that damn leaderboard, and win some real prizes. There's no betting, no stress. It's your Fight IQ versus the world. Hit the link in the description. Make some picks on the next card, whenever that is. Let's get into it.
The October 18th card has a new main event. It was supposed to be RDR taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, which was a fight I was really excited for. A lot of people thought that the winner of that fight would be next for Khamzat Chimaev, given Imavov's kind of lackluster performance. Anthony Hernandez is out of that fight. Brendan Allen is now in. What do you think? He's got about 4 weeks to get ready.
That's a winnable fight for Brendan Allen.
You think so?
Yeah, the short notice is tough. Because Brendan is a guy. I'm actually surprised he took it, because he's a guy who's very, very into his preparation and making sure everything's right. So that kind of tells me that he's probably already in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably in a good spot. Mostly, like, especially if you're where Brendan Allen is. I didn't do this the last few years of my career, but most of the time you like to stay 2 or 3 weeks out. Like stay in good enough shape where you can kind of turn it on and pick it up and you can be ready in 2 or 3 weeks. So if that's the case, and it probably is, I think it's a winnable fight. I don't know that he wants to go jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu with RDR, but I think he can. I think he has the ability. He's definitely the better striker, for sure. And if he can defend the takedowns and kind of deal with the pressure that RDR brings, I think that's a good fight for him. Because he can I think he's the better wrestler, so I think he can dictate where the fight takes place. If he can keep it on his feet and not gas himself defending constantly and not gas himself dealing with the pressure of RDR, he's definitely the better striker. So, I mean, he's a more technical striker, and I think he's got more power in his hands. So,
yes, and he's always capable of bringing that version of himself to a fight. He's coming off a win over Marvin Vettori. It just depends on if that version of him shows up.
Sometimes he shows up like, holy fuck, that dude's really good.
Sometimes he shows up and looks like a world beater. Other times he shows up and it's like,
that's only been fairly recently too. He's had a bit of inconsistency.
But he's been inconsistent with the top guys in the division.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Two of his losses are to Fluffy Hernandez, who he's replacing in this fight, and then
goddamn, that dude's beating everybody. Fluffy's beating everybody, and Imavov's beating. I mean, Imavov just knocked out.
Saying. You get the inconsistency with the step-up opponent.
Yeah, but Imavov did just. I mean, that dude knocked out fucking Israel Adesanya. We keep forgetting about that. Like, they're like, oh, well, was that win good enough to get him a title shot? I don't know. Maybe not. But sure as fuck, the one before that was.
Because you know what? The fight.
Like, why do we keep forgetting he just knocked out Izzy? Like,
when all of these guys go into the Izzy, like the Israel Adesanya fight, all the promotions, like, if he beats this guy, he's next. And then they beat him, which has only been recent. Izzy was beating fucking everybody until the last few years. But then they beat him, and it's like, I don't know if that was good enough. Everyone's beating Adesanya now.
What about Bahayo? Can you beat that guy? And that guy, like, they're like, this is absolutely a title eliminator. Like, they said it for the Izzy fight. If he beats Izzy, if he can look good in the Izzy fight, he's probably going to fight for a title. And they're like, wow.
He's getting that most part Evloev treatment.
I know.
Give this man a title shot.
Which I don't get, because he's exciting. Like, he's
can be.
I think a lot of it is opponent dependent.
It's fair. It takes two to tango.
Bahayo's a tough guy to fight. And you gotta mind your P's and Q's. I do think that part of the issue with the Bahayo fight is that Kyle wasn't preparing for a guy like Imavov. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know if I said this on the broadcast, but when I was in Kansas City fighting in my retirement fight, Kyle was there with the Fighting Nerds, right? Mm-hmm. All week, the only thing he was grabbing other coaches, he was grabbing random other training partners, and he was in the lab, and it was really fun to watch. He just grabbed people, trying to get information from everybody, and it was all about wrestling. It was wrestling and get ups and takedown defenses, and like he was preparing like in here for Khamzat. So that's what he's been, and then he gets a totally different dude. So I'm not saying that that's why he lost. I'm just saying he's been in a different mindset, like thinking about someone else for a long time, and then he ends up with Imavov. And that dude, I watched Imavov in Paris. I was there, make his debut. And I said it right away. I actually said it to GSP because he came over and like did this little desk hit thing with us. And then Imavov was fighting. And I said to GSP, that guy's going to be really good. Like he just has a different mindset about him. He's got a different approach. He's a dog too. He's just kind of a dick when he's in there. He's just mean, and he's goddamn good. So I don't know.
I think when you're within an arm's reach of Khamzat Chimaev, like a lot of these guys are, like, you know, any given win could put you in there with him.
Right.
It's so hard not to think about him.
You have to.
Right. Because it's like, how the fuck am I going to beat this guy? And it's like, well, hold on. You're not even there yet.
Right.
You've got to beat this guy first.
You got Nasruddin Yamava first.
Who's no joke, as we've seen.
Yeah, but what about Khamzat? Like that's how you know Khamzat is a goddamn boogeyman.
That's the thing.
He's a fucking boogeyman. He's taking everyone's attention.
What the hell am I going to do in there with him?
Yeah, he's distracting everybody.
I will say,
I think if Fluffy would have won, or DeRitter would have won in that fight. I would have picked
Fluffy in that fight too.
Yeah, me too. I think we would have found Fluffy in a title fight.
100%.
If Brendan Allen wins, we won't see him in a title fight right away. It puts him in a real good spot, though. Puts him in a really, really, really good position. That kind of erases a little bit of the other shit he has, and will puts him in a position where maybe it's only one more away.
I'm very curious to see what the extent of Fluffy's injury is, because, like we both just said, we both would have picked him in this fight with RDR, and then I certainly think that would have put him in there with Chimaev. And I think of the crop of contenders, Fluffy could have given him the most problems. Do I think he would have won? Not necessarily, but I think it could give him a lot of problems potentially.
Yeah, with his wrestling, grappling, and gas tank, I think he definitely.
It's just tenacity. He doesn't get tired. He's
for sure
nonstop.
Great on him. Great on him for pulling out of the fight when he's not 100% though, because that's hard to do. I don't think a lot of people realize how much credit you should give fighters that say, "I'm too hurt, I can't do it," because that takes a lot of balls. Because I don't know what he makes. Say he makes 200 and 200. Like he potentially just dipped out on almost $500,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? He just said, "No, I'm too banged up."
That's why
that just tells me how much he that tells me how much he cares about his career. He's not willing to take the risk.
And I'm wondering if it was something like lingering, because we are 4 weeks out, so it's like close enough where I'm wondering if he was waiting to see if whatever it was could kind of heal itself a little bit, and he could be good enough to go. And then he got to this point, and he was like, you know what, it's just not going to work out.
I've never had the balls to pull out of a fight.
Yeah.
Not once.
I wish you did sometimes.
Shit, me too. Now, but at the time, I know that sounds crazy, and there's situations that we hate when it happens. It's super close, or something happens, and whatever. But like with enough notice, I've always like really admired guys that were able to like put it to the side and say, I can't. I'm too banged up.
You would also get presented fights where your team, and you know, because we're close friends, we would talk about it. Your team would be like, you know, I don't know if this is the right time, or, you know, very close to a loss or
like,
something.
What, you don't think I can fucking do it?
Exactly. So the second there was even 1% of doubt presented, you had to take the fight at that point.
Yeah, I'm such a child. I'm embarrassing, actually. Okay, enough of that. Now that we've made fun of me.
No, it's respectable. That's what I'm saying. You believe in yourself.
Someone just drove by in a dope golf cart. I've never seen that one in the neighborhood before. Anyways, we are going to get out of here. I am going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go hang out. I'm home alone. It's weird. It never happens. So, yeah, I'm glad that we're back. I'm sorry about the 2-week hiatus. If you guys get an opportunity, like and share with your friends. Go hit that subscribe button. It's really easy for you guys to do, but it makes a really big difference for us. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Let's have some fun. We partner with HomaFight Picks to get you the most accurate and well-researched fight predictions. They do all the legwork so you can focus on winning. Picks will be sent directly to your phone via text or email. It's totally up to you. The second we upload them. Use code Lionheart to get 7 free days at winnable.com/HOF picks. That's WINIBLE.com/HOF picks.